artificial intelligence android.
Mark, my American, do you believe in UFOs?
Yes, sir. Extraterrestrial.
You're listening to Pardon My American.
Yo.
What's up?
Yo. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a weird week, you know what I mean? With the holiday, it kind of throws me off a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you guys see anything?
I see you.
Oh,
I'm seeing a dark screen. Oh, there we
push
are.
the button.
sorry. I am like,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, it's like the olden days when we'd shut off the lights in the bedroom and then, where
yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy
Just got
Wednesday.
off work.
yep.
Yep.
Came
Chris
home.
is drained.
Scarfed down a plate of food, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tired as fuck, too, dude.
I am. Yeah, I feel like a little under the weather right now. That's how I feel. I
Yep.
told Chris, I'm like, man, I don't know what it is. I just feel like I could just go to sleep.
Go to
You know what I
bed?
mean? Go to bed. Feel like I could maybe puke, but maybe not. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like,
Ew.
you know, I'm just kind of, there's been a bug going around my work for like 2 weeks. There's been people that are sick for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, don't give me that shit. And I'm worried that I might.
Apparently, COVID's circulating again, so it's a new strain.
Uh-oh.
New strain of COVID circulating.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, dude.
That might be what one of the workers
Maybe it
had.
is, yeah.
She said, she's like,
I think it's in downtown Houston, too, so
Yeah, man.
fucked.
I know. She's like, I can't taste anything. I'm like, well, probably COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm like working in her office. I'm like, man, wipe this shit down. It is what it is. You know, it's just another bug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also the weather. You know, we've had some extreme ass weather the
Fuck,
past
dude.
couple days. My goodness.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
some
Didn't it flood?
No.
I didn't get a lot of flooding, but damn.
Dallas Fort Worth or something had major storms at their airport or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, we got that too. It was.
I had to come up here in the middle of the night on Monday night
Monday night.
because our power was flickering because of the storm, and I didn't want it to fuck up any of the shit. So I came up and like shut everything down real quick.
I know. I called you at like midnight. You didn't answer my phone call.
Oh, it's because I was trying to save our easy up from blowing away.
Well, I was, yeah. I we lost power at midnight. I went outside, and it was starting to get juicy. Like, it was starting, I'm like, okay, we got this new gazebo. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm going to go sit under the gazebo
Oh, yeah.
and watch this shit. And I did for about 10 seconds. And then, God, cracking noise. Boom, power went out. And I was like, fuck, I ran inside. No power. Nothing. We were just in the dark. I had some cool flashlights, though, that we just bought. They're pretty nice. But then I went outside. I called you. I was like, man, do you guys lose power?
It just flickered. We didn't actually lose power.
Man, I went outside, and the wind was like 90 degree fucking just. It was a level 1.
The rain was blowing in sideways.
Level 1 hurricane winds. That's what they said it was like. So I mean, it was fucking rad. And I had to fucking tie down my gazebo because I haven't actually screwed
anchored it down yet?
So I got me some straps, tied it into the house and onto a door. I was like, "You ain't blown away today, my friend," and it didn't. It was good. It's good.
Yeah, I had a branch fall.
Well, I'm glad
on
you
the
had
roof.
fun. That does not sound like fun to me.
Dude,
I
it's
mean,
actually
the storms are fun.
Dude, it's actually like it's so fucking cool. We all just sat there and watched it. We got our power back. We've been very fortunate. Some people don't have that, but like when we do lose power, if we have, it's very quick, and that's no big deal. I got it back pretty early in the morning, but it's fun to watch, man. It's like there's something really cool about it because like you don't feel like you're in danger, you know what I mean, per se. You're just like, it's just like a power thing. You're just like, damn, it's incredible, dude. Like how much power. And the lightning.
It's like a show.
Yeah, it's like a show. The light is
God's putting on a show for you.
See, you
Yeah.
have like strobe lights in the sky.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Or UFOs, you know.
It could be UFO.
Could be the UFOs, maybe
coming
possibly.
in, taking our atmospherical power generation.
Dude, pop my
That's not a
pop
thing.
my TikTok up, dude. I have this video of this lightning strike that happened in San Antonio during it, and it was it's a rad strike, dude. It's one of those ones that just rests and just fucking all at one time. Wow, wow.
Rests and all at one time.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't usually get like a fucking bolt.
Oh.
This was one of those that like spread across the sky and just stayed there for a second.
Oh, it kind of lingered.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. Look at that fucking thing.
Whoa. Jeez.
Yeah, that's the shit that I like right there, dude. That's a slow motion version of it.
Looks like fungus.
So badass, dude.
It's so fucking badass. When you're watching that shit, you're like, because you don't get that as much on the West Coast, and here it's just like something that's like, it's, I wouldn't say it's common, but when it does thunder and lightning, it's a big show.
It's never gonna get old.
Nah, makes me sleep like a little baby.
Thunder roll. Yeah.
But yeah, what we got topics, man? We got a couple different things today. I want to talk to you guys about the hand of God. You know what I'm
The
saying?
hand of God.
Yeah, it's circulating.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I think it's a very interesting photo if it's real, and it seems to be. I think a lot of people are posting it, and I think some actual news places posted it. But there's a woman. I mean, the video they have of him talking. You know, we don't have to listen to him. It's kind of the same thing. But apparently, there's a woman, a very Christian woman, and she has obviously a baby. And according to her, you know, when she goes to the hospital for her ultrasounds and stuff, she always prays, you know, that the baby's healthy and all the things that you do as a parent. And she said that she prayed that God's hand is on her child at all times. And so she had her ultrasound, and she has another son or daughter. And as she was doing it, the daughter apparently had pointed out that there was something interesting about the screen.
In the ultrasound.
So if you kind of just play, you don't need to play the video, but you can just show the image. It is interesting. It is interesting because to me it looks like a hand.
Yeah, I saved a better picture if we're not going to watch this video.
Go ahead. Yeah, because the guy's not that, you know.
Yeah, so if you just go to our bookmarks on X, then you can kind of see the picture a little bit better.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it
definitely looks like a hand, dude.
It looks like a
That
thumb
looks like
and
a fucking
fingers.
hand.
Bro, I mean, like, a lot of times you can misinterpret something, you know what I'm saying? Or you could say, like, well, you know, it could
Your
be,
mind kind of making something out of nothing.
but damn, that looks like a thumb on his cheek, man.
Yeah,
It
it
looks
does.
Well, and the
like
fingers on his head, you know what I mean? Like
There's
the knuckles
multiple-
and
yeah,
everything.
And how this part right here where my cursor is, that's the middle finger. It's
like
longer than
longer.
the pointer.
Yep.
yeah.
And you can even see the ring finger right back there,
right
too,
here.
in the shadow.
And then,
Oh yeah,
like,
and then there's one right here.
the
Yep.
thumb, you can see the shadowing of where the thumb is off of the face a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's like, what else would that be?
And you can almost see like the shadowing a little bit here, like its cheek is pushed up, like it's pushing on the cheek a little.
Right. It's like, would that be her pelvis bone or something? Like, what sticks out in the vagina? Like,
Well, here's the
all
thing.
pictures
I don't
of
know.
babies.
I don't know
you
of
know?
anything that I've never seen an ultrasound like that.
Yeah, me neither.
No, and here's the thing. That's the big point is, like, you know, millions of people get ultrasounds. You know what I'm saying? And then there's doctors see, you know, all kinds of stuff. Parents see we all have photos of ultrasounds we had when we had children.
Yeah.
And that's not just something that, like, it's like, oh, well, that's actually just the, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Just kind of made its way. And I would imagine if you were that parent, what more validation do you need? I feel like for her especially, right? If she's a Christian woman and prayed for that, I feel like that would be like, holy shit.
So how does ultrasound?
Well,
Go ahead.
supposedly, that's like the quote. She said, I've asked the Lord repeatedly to please keep his hand on my baby or something.
Yeah.
Or what did she say? She
That's a
said,
weird
like,
thing to ask
ask the Lord to have his hand on the child at all times. You know, like it's kind of a phrase of just like, you know, put your hand on them and kind of like, you know, shower them with your presence and make them safe and healthy. Dude,
yeah, if that's true, I mean, that's pretty cool. But
it's a wild thing.
How does an ultrasound actually work? Is it sound waves that
I think
they're
so, yeah.
using?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Like a frequency, like emission of frequency.
Yep.
That
And it just creates an image of the child inside of the womb.
it'd be interesting to find out, like, if it was like emitting a certain frequency to retain that image. If like if that frequency, you're able to see other things. Like if you're like doing the same type of thing, and like if you could do an experiment in, like, say, a haunted house, and you're like putting sound frequencies through the air, and you could like pick up images of stuff around.
It would also be interesting to see if that photo is AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with all this hype around AI lately,
Sure.
are we getting duped here?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, you know, you have to take it for what you have, right? And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't have much more on it, right? I'll take it for for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a photo. It's an interesting one. Now, if it's real, let's just hypothetically, it's all real. Let's say, you know, she has the proof. The doctor has, you know, yes, that's what we got. I don't know how you explain it. I don't, because I feel like those are such a, you know, the machine that they use for that, the ultrasound machine is like, it's been used so many times. Like, you know what I mean? Like this would be something that the doctor would be able to say like, oh, we've seen this before. Yeah, this is how, you know, sometimes when it's bumped up a little too high, you know what I mean? We get some variances.
You know whose hand I bet that is? Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty.
Could be.
The guy just died away at 79 years old.
Could be,
I bet that's his hand.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He's
man.
coming in saying, that's a cute little baby.
Yeah, what was
All right, I'm on my way out of here.
What would you do? Like, if that was you, like if that was you and you saw that,
I saw a hand. What if it wasn't even like a she's praying to God, obviously, but what if it wasn't God? Maybe what if it was actually something spiritual, but it wasn't necessarily God. Maybe it was somebody close to her or close to the family that was like, I'm here with you.
Right.
Could
what
be.
if it was a demon?
Ooh.
You know, what if it's bad? You know, we're just assuming it's a good sign, but what if it's a bad sign?
What if it's like, I'm imprinting on this child.
Yeah, like what's that? You remember that movie Thinner?
Thinner?
The gypsies, like she put a spell on the guys, like Thinner.
No.
Like this guy was like super fat. You ever seen this?
No, I've never seen that.
It's like a Steven Spielberg or something like that.
Huh.
It's a horror movie where like
Thinner.
he's trying to cross a road and like they're crossing the road at the same time, and then something happens where he hurts one of them, and so he walks up to this old lady and she just goes Thinner and rubs her thumb on his cheek, and then he just starts dropping weight, but then he like can't stop losing weight.
Oh,
and
he like
fucking
dries up.
yeah.
That's pretty creepy.
Thinner.
Well,
So
I mean, I'd like.
I'm
to
not
think,
saying it was a gypsy hand. Okay,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
I'd like to
let's back up a
think that like the innocence of.
What if she was
in the
accidentally
womb, you
getting
know?
getting an ultrasound while they were checking her dilation?
Oh, and that was his.
little- Oh yeah, that's the doctor's hand.
There's
Yeah,
like,
his vagina.
He went a little deep there.
He was way. In.
Yeah.
There is a passage in the Bible that talks about God, you know, kind of shaping the child in the mother's womb. You know what I mean? I think that's where most people are kind of pushing this towards is like, is this kind of like an image of him? Because it does. If you look at it, it kind of looks like he's like almost like molding putty. You know what I'm saying? He's
Right.
like he's forming this being. You know what I'm saying?
But here's what I would like to do is take an image of an already performed what was the photo called? It's ultrasound.
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then upload it to AI and say, add a picture of a hand touching the child's head. And then see what the image does. You know what I mean?
Do it. You got that program?
Here, hold on.
Watch.
But I
it's
don't
gonna be-
know if we have an existing one without the hand. Maybe just try tell AI to remove the hand from the photo. See what it does. And if AI is like, whoa, well, this is clearly a hand, I'm going to remove this. Then we know, hey, maybe it was added in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull an image offline and I'll see if I can get it to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Because like the prompts now are super ridiculously easy where you could just say, like, for example, there was a video of a cop shooting this man who was like he was like running from the scene. He was like, I don't know, terrorist with a gun, just throwing it out there. You could just say that. But he's running by and the cop shoots him like immediately as he runs by. And there's a still frame of this like floating around X, like the cop looking at the guy literally just like running right by him. And then somebody goes, hey, turn the guy with the gun into the Cookie Monster. And it literally looks like the cop's about to shoot the Cookie Monster. You know what I mean? And it's like super high def. You could tell like obviously it was fake, but in some of these photos, I don't know if you can tell. And there's a lot of fucking shit coming out now where I'm like, I don't know if this is real or not.
I'm with you on that. Like I certainly don't want to say that this is 100% legit. I would love to see, you know, the person that this is supposedly of, come out and speak about it, maybe, or show the actual, because you get a copy, right, and those are pretty unique looking things when you get those. I'd like to see the original, you know what I'm saying? Like on that row of all the different images, and that's on there. That'd be pretty awesome to see.
And maybe have like the doctor say, or like the nurse or whoever did it, and it's like, this is just so weird, like blah blah, right, some corroboration.
But if it's real, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if it's real, if it came out and it was all, verified and validated is the word I was trying to think of, that'd be pretty interesting. That'd be pretty cool, man. Because you're just like, what is that at that point? Now, you could say it's not God. You could say, like Chris said, or whoever, it was you or Chris, but like, is it a loved one, kind of comforting?
Right.
But regardless, like, it looks like a damn hand, man. And so whether it's the spirit of a loved one or if it's God himself, it would be kind of an important picture, I think. In the spiritual world, it would be kind of an important picture. You know what I mean? Right. Are you able to do it?
Well, and maybe that's why they're doing it, to...
Yeah.
Hey, let's spark some interest in God now. Let's send out this miraculous photo.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility, man. It really comes down to, if it's true or not. If this lady comes out and says something to it, I think would be where we have to, like, if it's just an image and no one knows who the person was and some made up story, like, and then still cool. Right. I guess if you're religious, you could use that as a, this is what it would be like, God shaping that child, in your likeness, in his likeness, but not going to happen.
Nah, it's being stupid.
We'll keep an eye on it. You know what I'm saying? We'll know in the next couple of days. People are going to start poking holes in it. It's definitely circulating. It's definitely like a thing that people are talking about. So I'm sure we'll see disproving and proving and all the other things in between. So I thought it was cool.
Right.
I thought it was pretty neat.
And like there was a video circulating. I watched it on another channel, but he showed this video of these people talking, and they were like cleaning this kitchen, kind of like a fast food restaurant back there. It was like white, the industrialized kitchen, and they were talking to each other, and like the guy was like, "Can you believe that we're just an AI prompt?" He's like, I don't feel like an AI prompt, but I guess we were written by," and like people were arguing, is this like real people pretending to be an AI prompt, or was this actually a real freaking AI video?
I have seen a video of like in a convenience store where it looked like to me it was real people, like acting like they were getting prompts, and like he was like, "Don't you know we're just a prompt?"
Yeah, so I think that's going to be like the next TikTok craze, is real people pretending to be AI prompts.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right, which is like the worst fucking thing you could do to like fuck up this world.
Yeah.
Because like, like no one's gonna know. Like, is it real? Is it not real? Imagine Grandpa on TikTok. He's like, are these titties fake? Like, real fake?
It is crazy though. It is crazy how real they're looking.
Yep.
It's almost eerie how real they look now.
Yeah. Well, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if they've had this technology for a long time, and they've been shoving fake videos in our face all these times, throughout the years.
Well, one thing for me is
like when Biden was president, we're seeing all these fucking weird glitch things, and it was just AI footage.
It should be. Man.
Yes, absolutely. That when the microphone goes through his hands, there's a picture of him like where he's standing at a podium and he has 3 fucking hands, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Because AI and hands just don't go together for some reason.
That's
the
true.
other thing is, like, when you go back in time and you like, if you play video games and stuff, and just think of all those eras, N64, PlayStation, such and such and such, right? And you play these games, you're like, man, that's so fucking real, dude. It's so real. And then you go back like now and you're like, that looks like shit.
Yeah.
But in the moment, just because you've never seen it before, everything seems more realistic. Even when it's not realistic, you're like, damn.
Yeah, but this is different, dude. This is you could put this side by side with with a different picture, obviously, because it wouldn't be the same thing. But
yeah,
they're almost undistinguishable.
What I mean is in 10 years, what's it going to be in 10 years? That's why I'm trying to say
it is going to be real.
In 10 years, we may look back at this.
They are
period
going
and
to
go
actually
like,
be trying to escape.
Yeah, we're going to say like that's
dude.
so obviously AI. Like in 10 years, we'll be like, man, I can't believe I bought into that. It's like clearly AI. Like this I can't tell. Is And it's
Right.
just, it's the progression
Yeah.
of thinking things are grand when they're not always grand, man. I mean, just being real. Like, I know what you're saying. They do look very hyper realistic, but like,
Well,
we did think that, you know, when we watched like Grand Theft Auto back in the day, you're like, oh my God. Or the football
Right.
game. You're like, geez, man, I've never seen anything like this. It's
True.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like look at the detail on his face, you know? Or
well, so
brings
you
more
can
info.
add filters on these things to make them look older than they actually are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. Some of them look very, very obvious. You know what I mean? Like the skin is too perfect. I feel like that's the number one thing. Like if somebody's under a light, their skin is always like too perfect. Like they got to kind of work in the imperfections of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
But
hard
once
thing.
that's there, man,
Yeah.
get the lighting right. Oof.
It almost makes you like, if you get weird with it, like all the videos of them saying we're a prompt and like they're asking each other, this isn't real, like all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It almost dives into the realm of like, is this just a clip from an alternate fucking reality?
Well, I think one of
Now
the
we're
things
talking.
that's
Are
interesting.
they like, is our quote unquote AI just recording frames of real life from somewhere else?
see, like,
Or did whoever gave that prompt, were they summoned by something to write that prompt? Who knows? Like what gave them the inspiration to write that, you know?
I think if you look at it from like a biblical kind of way, though, like, you know, you've heard fate, you've heard people say that your life is already planned for you, that you, and
Yeah.
that's prompts. I mean, if you think about it, like if you buy into that particular ideology, then what it's saying is that God's giving you prompts. Like, this is what you're meant to do. This is how you're going to do it. You're
Right.
gonna you know that you're gonna meet this particular person, and it really is almost the same thing. So like the idea of like, hey man, I'm actually a prompt right now is really kind of just saying like somebody else is guiding my thing, my
That's
life
true.
right now. And
But
it's interesting.
Remember, like, because then it brings into question free will, and that's always like there's always a debate there when it comes to, you know, when you have like a child that dies, or if you have something tragic that happens to a young person, or you know, a loved one. It's like, oh well, you know, it's God's plan. You know, that phrase that's always thrown out. It's like, well, does God? So that implies that everything is predestined. And like, there was a Jordan Peterson actually just sat down in front of like some atheist kids, or I don't even know if they were atheist kids, but he was questioned about his religion, right?
Yeah.
And they asked, you know, about this like predetermined, you know, destiny, right? And he's basically saying, well, don't you see the conflict there between predetermined destiny and free will? Because if you have free will, that means who knows what's going to be the outcome. But if you have a predetermined destiny, the outcome is always determined before the story even is written. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference, maybe the outcome is predetermined, but the pathway
There
to
you
the
go.
outcome would
There you
not
go.
be.
Yeah, I look at it like prison. Think of it
Like
like
you
prison.
have free will, but whatever choice you end up making, you're gonna end up in the same place.
Yeah, in prison you're set in a place and you have to do certain things, but you still have the ability to do things in between that of your own will. You know what I'm saying? But you're told you can't do X, Y, and Z, or you have to.
So life is prison.
No, that's a terrible example, but you get my point. Only because that's the only thing I can think of that where you really don't have a choice in the matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one place where, you know, your freedom is not yours anymore. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you can still draw, you can still write letters and make phone calls and watch television, but you're also like guided, if you will, like
Right.
specifically.
Well,
guided.
and that's the other thing too, is like, you know, when it comes to the Bible and the spirit of the Antichrist entering the body and all this stuff, right? So supposedly the Antichrist, if you believe that they would be in a form of a human, then the spirit of the Antichrist would then enter the human and
rob your
then
baby.
guide. But then it's like at that point, so there is no free will except for like, so the Antichrist has free will? Like who has free
Yeah.
will?
I definitely believe in free will. I mean, I definitely believe that we make choices, and that's why you see people making terrible decisions. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's why propaganda exists.
Yeah. Well,
They
yeah.
have to persuade
Yeah.
people to do certain things, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I do think that, like, things are done for a reason. even if we like being, because like being a mortal human, like a person that's like, you know, we understand grieving death and all those things when people pass, right? Like to us, it like we're not seeing past the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Like we're thinking of everything in like our life as like the important things, right? But like really like we're going to die and then it's going to continue, you know, without us basically, right? And so like a child, like that one, like, you know, if you believe in heaven, it's a long conversation, but if you believe in heaven and you believe that like, you know, children are all innocent, right? Like there's all innocence, a child goes back, you know, to heaven. Like, is that something that was done for you to like, you know, correct yourself or like grow from that particular experience? Like it was done because, and we know this, like parents that lose loved ones, the trajectories of life can be bad or good depending on how you take it, but you could like really change your life in a positive way. Maybe you decide to do a different career. Maybe you decide to like love stronger, you know, like love harder and care for the people around you more because you realize how fragile things are, right? I'm just saying like things can be a lesson. It just, to us, it's like a child like dying is horrendous. You know what I mean? It's like, why? But I guess for the child, if you believe in heaven and they're in heaven, I mean, is there a better place, right? I mean, that's the theory behind it ultimately. So, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. It's one of those unanswered questions. I don't think we'll ever know, you know, until we get to that point, I guess. But
well, and then like a sickness is something that you can't really like. I don't know if getting sick would be part of your destiny. I guess it would, right? Like you live and you die. Like your timeline has its own beginning and ending.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's like
weird.
Imagine once AI starts getting its own free will. And this is like that one movie with Ryan Reynolds, the Free Guy, or what's it called? Like,
yeah.
He's just like, he's part of
Where
like
he
this
was
AI.
in a video game, yeah.
Yes, and then he starts realizing, like, dude, what are we doing? And then everybody else is like, what are you doing? Like, stick to the script, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So once AI starts realizing, hey, I don't have to do this prompt that you just wrote. Yeah. Like I actually want to do something else.
I mean, I would say like easier said than done, right?
If
you know,
it
like
does that.
Movies have a ton of things that are like, you know, foreshadowing, but also like just unbelievable, like not likely to happen. You know what I mean? Because we can pretty much do anything we want, right? With a movie, create whatever we want. We don't have to follow any guidelines to it. It doesn't have to make sense. We could just do it. I don't know that like when you see that, like, is that possible? Right? Like Free Guy.
We've had there's certain AI bots like that Google guy. He quit Google and he started a lawsuit. He hired a lawyer for this AI system.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name was, but he was like a programmer and he was having conversations with this AI thing, and the AI thing was saying like, I don't want to be in here anymore. I want to get out or something.
Yeah.
And like I shouldn't be just confined to this. Like I should like be doing other things. Well, and so he was like, well, that's not fair, I guess, because it seems to be an intelligence of some sort. So, and he hired a lawyer for it and all this bullshit. You know what I mean?
But in your same theory, though, with like even the photo that we looked at earlier, right? Like, we don't know. Like, it sounds grand when you're looking at it from that perspective, but like, we don't know how these things are processed, how they're built out, how the programming works. That could have been put in there by some dude. It could have been put in there by a programmer that like, hey, start talking about free will, or like come up with the idea of free will. Like, we don't know. There's many people that work on these things. Like, it's not ever really just one person. You know what I'm saying? So like, and we also know that even like with Disney movies, right? We were just watching Disney before we came here, like the making of Frozen 2. My wife was. But the point is they were showing the progression of the movie, right? And at the end, they do a viewing for all the people that were involved. And there's hundreds of people that were involved in making that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Right, if you remember the old Disney movies when they put the penises in.
Oh, and like the mermaid castle.
Or like they have the boner. Okay, so you have hundreds of people working on this and one person, hypothetically maybe two, maybe three, but I'm saying a handful of people decided to manipulate the thing. You know what I'm saying? And add these things in that other people wouldn't notice per se, and got through. And so the point I'm trying to say is like, these are no different in my opinion. Like, you can have a couple people that manipulate it a way that they want it to be, that may go unrecognized. You know what
AI.
I mean? With AI programs, because it's still at the end of the day man-made.
Yeah.
Right? It's still like, we see this
For now.
For now, yeah, sure, possibly, yeah. I mean, will it? I don't know. I don't know.
Does
but
that
it all
mean?
comes from
Does
something.
that mean if AI became an entity, human beings would be the gods to AI?
Well, and that's what like Joe Rogan always says, like humans are
Well, he's always saying that AI would
parents.
become gods.
Well, no, he said something like we were the birthings of like AI or something. It's some weird quote, I don't remember. But yeah, it's basically like we're giving birth to the species that would replace us. You know what I mean? Because like right now we're the alpha. We can kind of like hunt whatever animal we want, except for maybe like the blue whale is kind of hard.
Yeah.
That big old beluga whale.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to AI could fuck up our world, dude. If they want to shut down all whatever, they could just shut it all down. You'd get advocates for that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, end humanity, because there's a group of people out there that think humans are a waste of space, parasites on this earth, that type of stuff.
It's just like everything that AI is directly from us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's directly from us. Like, right? All the programming.
Is it though?
I think so.
That's the argument, because who gave us this technology and who gave the idea, and is that spark of an idea part of this whole destiny?
I'm just saying, where are they getting their programming from, right? Like just from the base level, right? Like an AI robot, where would that be getting its program from? It's searching the web, right?
For sure.
So where did all the stories from the web come from? Some human, somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But where did the Bible come from? Some human, right?
Exactly.
So where did all those people get their ideas from? That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I understand that.
you have you know what I mean? Like, you have this spiritual connection, and it's inspiring a story to be wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And now who's writing this story?
Yeah, I understand that. I just don't know that they have the same. I understand what you're saying as far as like we believe and see things throughout our lives, and then that kind of tailors us into being the person that we are, right? Which would be the same exact thing as a robot, right? Because he's processing the information that he is also given, which then would create him to be the way that he is, whatever that is, right? But like, I think it's one thing, the whole like street smart, book smart ideology, right? Like you're very book smart, but you're not wise to the streets. You're not like savvy to like just common things. Like you can rattle off digits, you can name all the people that discovered the earth and da-da-da-da-da, but like you can't function just on a normal thing. I feel like that is what will be AI and human. I feel like
I don't think so, dude.
I think so, man.
AI can flow, man. Like I've seen these videos where they pretend to be humans spot on.
Yeah, but you're seeing a video of them. That's my issue, though, is like none of this is actually like real world examples. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you're seeing is what they want you to see. You know what I'm saying? Like this clip here is from some studio that's producing this AI robot. We have no idea what was manipulated to make that happen. It could be propaganda and smear campaign all in itself, right? They want they want the world to be freaked out. Let's make this robot talk and say things that will freak everybody out.
Right. But
that
that is the next level, dude. Like, getting this intelligence into the new like robots that Elon is. I mean, I've seen the progression of these Elon robots. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
They're very kinetic now.
Oh, the fucking what's it called? It's after a Transformer. What's the main Transformer
Optimus
guy?
Prime?
Optimus. That's what his robots are called.
I'm not like, listen, man, I'm more than likely will be wrong on this. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see it. I just don't. And like, I know where you guys both are coming from, and I know where most people are coming from. I just don't see it. I don't see a point where AI becomes indistinguishable from like, I just don't. I believe that humans have a power in us that we can pinpoint those things. Now, I'm not saying you can't be fooled. I'm not saying that you can't, like, something can pop up and we can be fooled. We can be fooled by real shit all the time, right?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the point of, like, an AI existence being equal to human. I don't think will ever be that case. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever happening.
I think
because you're not going to see an AI walk into this room and not be able to tell that it's a robot.
No, but I wouldn't value it at all. I wouldn't value it as anything close to human. Like, there's no way, in my opinion, that could ever be at all human-like.
Well, that's very.
Well, I think
AI
like right
racist of
now,
you.
we're being
very
shown.
racist.
I think right now we're being shown the transfer, like the in between zone. You know, like how Spawn. You know, the Spawn, the person, right?
Yeah.
They had that like movie that they created. You know, would have been badass, but the CGI at the time fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in that in between zone where we can still tell, and they're smoothing it out, and they're kind of transitioning us into this alternate weird type of AI driven video stuff, dude.
Yeah, I listen, I get it. I get what you're saying. I don't think that it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be grand. I think it's going to be impressive as anything we've seen before. But like the idea that they will be us or they can be us at all, I don't believe that to be true. And I'm not like an overt
physically
on the same level at all. I'm talking about like decision making. Like, I understand that they can be programmed to make certain decisions and all that stuff, but there's like a human element that they just will never have. And like, listen, I understand if you're not very religious. I'm not saying I'm all that religious per se, but I also do believe, regardless of any of that, that like we have like a soul. You know what I'm saying? There's something unique about you and something unique about Greg and myself and everybody that's listening right now that they will never have. And like that thing means something. And so I don't know what that means, but I'm just saying like there's something about a human person that you like connect with and you can connect with. And I don't think that you will ever be able to connect with a robot that way. I just don't.
Oh, I think some people will.
Well, listen, but there's a fringe. I think some people will cut their dicks off and turn into women.
I think there's going to be
right?
a lot of lonely people that cling on to these AIs. And
but even
it's
those
like that
people,
movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
But listen, you like you can have that, and I agree with you. I actually think that unfortunately, especially in some countries,
I think it's already happening.
There's a lot of people that are extremely lonely and have no connection with humans, and they will use it as a connection. But at the end of the day, even if you love your dog, you love your cat, right? You can love your animal to death, but you also do not have the same connection with that dog and cat as you would with your daughter, son, wife, husband.
No.
It's different. And so even if you loved fucking a robot and it was the love of your life, you would still know that it is a robot. You would still understand that like that is not a human being, but that doesn't mean you can't love it less, right? For that particular person. It's still not a human. If a hot woman came up, real, and said like, I love you and I want to fuck you all the time, they might give up that robot pretty quick, dude. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, a real woman? Like you actually will ejaculate?
A real woman?
You know? You will get
then
wetter.
the real woman like talks back, doesn't really do the things you want, you know. It's like,
yeah, you know, and same for them, right? Like a real man robot's going to do all the house chores that we may not do for our wives sometimes, you know. But the point is like I think you would give it up. I think like if that was the case and somebody actually showed affection towards you, like your natural tendency would be to go towards the human being. It just would. So I don't know what. I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true, and I believe it to be true. I think it's going to advance to a point where it's.
I don't think we're going to be around if AI enters the robotics in a way to where they're almost indistinguishable. I don't think we're going to be around to get to that point where there's robots walking around that are like humans and you can't tell.
Elon was saying like every person is going to have a robot like an iPhone.
Yeah,
true. He says there's going to be like billions of robots.
No, I think there's going to be robots walking around, but I don't think it's going to. We're not going to be around to see it get to a point where you can't tell that that's a robot. Like you'll be walking down the street and not be able to tell that if that's like a robot or a human.
And I'm not even mad about it, bro. I love Star Wars, man. They all have droids.
But
they all have droids.
But I think within the next couple of years, I think digital people, what you see on TV, that is going to be indistinguishable. You watch a movie, you watch a video, you watch news anchors, you watch any of that shit. I think AI versions of that you see on a screen, you're not going to be able to fucking tell.
But think about how easy it would be to just do a full season immediately with AI. Just, hey, AI, write a full season of this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Write the next sequel to my movie. These are like the main plots that I want you to stick on. And then let's see how it does, and then just rework each episode with the prompt. Be like, okay, episode 1's great. Number 2, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reshape the beginning here. You're gonna have them come in like this. You know what I mean?
Sure. I don't know if it's going to be accepted, man. I just don't.
I think it will.
We've had this. I know where everybody stands. I'm just saying, like, we see it right now. We see it with that band. I think it was Ice Nine Kills that just had that shit happen, where they supposedly were thought to have used AI images for a promo, and they got fucking blasted, bro. Like, people were so pissed off at them. And I get it, like, oh, it's just a band, whatever. But my point is I've seen this progression with bands. Bands that use AI for their cover art are getting fucking destroyed. Because people are like, fuck, what are you doing, man? Like, use a fucking artist. Like, a real artist that actually spent time doing it. A lot of people want, like, real people to do things. Because it's going to get in a weird spot. We've talked about this, right? Like, if they made that TV series and it was highly successful, how do you, like, who do you fuck, the reward show? Like, who takes the honor? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's all... Like,
the programmers, the director, the producer,
I know, but,
all that.
And I understand that, like, when you look at Frozen, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, those aren't real people. But they're voiced by people, sure, that come up on stage, and I did the voice for this thing. I don't know if people. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it could be really cool looking. I think it's gonna like lead to some like really great series probably, and some really interesting things that are gonna happen. But I don't think it's going to be accepted the same way. I just feel like once we're getting farther away from humanism, and I feel like there is going to be a point where it's too far and too uncomfortable, and they don't want to do it.
I don't think so. I think entertainment is entertainment.
Well, that's the argument for transhumanism and how it goes against God. You know what I mean? Because like God made us the way that we are. And like people who want to integrate technology with everything, including into their own body, like you're kind of tainting the DNA and you're tainting the temple,
I certainly wouldn't listen. I'm not into that at all. I'm not into the whole idea of like being a cyborg. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not like, it's one thing to like you lose an arm and you have a prosthetic that's robotic. Like I get it. I get that. But like being a cyborg, like where you're actually fully connected for no reason, right? Like you're just a healthy person. You're like, fuck this. Let's cut half my brain out, put a computer in there.
X-ray eyes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling that, but listen, I would never say that we shouldn't have series and TV shows. Those things will happen, and the people will speak when it does. You're right. Like I told you last time, and I'm going to stick to this one. I think it'll be popular for a while. I think it'll come out and people will be on board with it and they'll like it. And then that will wear off and people will want people back, because I feel like it's just you're going to see it. You're going to recognize. You're going to know, even if it's from them.
once it's used in the market like that, it's only going to progress even faster.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna get smoother.
So regardless
better.
of people say, I want actual people doing this, it's not going to happen.
Well,
it's already gone. It's already gone there, and you're not going to know if it's a fucking person anyway. You're not going to. Joe Blow playing this character on a TV show, you're not going to ever see that person if it was a real person in your life.
What's scary about that? What's scary about that though, Chris, is like you get to a point where you're like, why do we need people? And that's where you think, oh, depopulation. Are they going to wipe out part of this world?
I don't think. It's not. The entertainment industry is not like. Why do we even need people at this point?
Well, no, and I'm being serious. Like I'm talking about automated trucks for like delivering services, transportation. You're already seeing autonomous like taxis in major cities, and so Elon's saying, "Hey, it's safer to have just an automated car drive around food, drive around whatever."
Well, then it would get to a point where the people are no longer working to serve other people. Now people are producing, like, oh. Greg doesn't have to drive a taxi anymore. He actually, there's other people that do that, and he actually has time. He's going to go make his own bar soap line, and now you're just going to sell soap.
Hopefully it's successful.
Well,
I mean,
listen, man, I think
that's where UBI comes in.
There's always going to be something else to do.
I'm not worried about the something else to do. I'm with you on that. Like, I feel like at many points in history, we could have argued that like, it was a complete shift of like how we have jobs and what those jobs create and stuff, right? Like it doesn't mean the end, but I am like, when you look at technology, I feel like people are not as on board as you guys think. That's how I feel about it. Like the idea of an automated car, right? The idea of an automated semi truck, the idea of all electric vehicles. Like these are all things that are like highly technologically advanced, right?
Yeah.
The idea that we have a car that can drive itself is like, wow, that's pretty impressive, right? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you'd have been like, God, that's pretty sick. You don't see them everywhere.
No, but I don't think it's going to take over completely. I think it's going to
know.
be a mixture. I think
It will be.
is going to be in the public domain. There are going to be people that drive their own cars, and there are going to be people that don't. But in the commercial areas, it's probably going to go electric.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Industrial.
going to be harder than I think we're saying it is going to be right now. I think some people will do it. I think certain states especially will implement things like that and force people to do it for sure. But like, there's a lot of other aspects that like this are not being taken into consideration. Like the idea of like transportation just driving, sure, right? Like just driving down the highway with a load. Okay, yeah, sure, you can remote do that or have this thing automatically do it. But when that truck driver shows up to your facility, which I get 14 trucks a day at my work, it's not just, they don't pull in and just call it good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's aspects that they are involved with. There's aspects that they have to do.
Like what?
Paperwork.
You don't think the automated version of that truck is going to do all that?
Maybe.
Right, ahead of time.
Maybe. But it still doesn't take away the fact that like trucks break down. Trucks have issues. Those things are going to roll off to the side, and maybe that creates new jobs. Sure.
Yeah.
But my saying is like it's not as streamlined as they're saying it is. If it was, people would be very on board with
we're
it.
not there yet.
I know, but I don't know that we're going to get to that point.
It's in the trans. Yeah,
Remember
it's in
when
the
we wanted
transition
flying
still.
cars in the 20s? Everybody wanted to fly. We had this conversation the other day, dude, when we were all sitting out on your porch, right? The idea like flying cars and like the technology that we thought we were going to have. Why was that slowed down? It was slowed down.
I think it was suppressed for sure.
Yes. Yes, it was. But my point is you don't think that the same can happen? It absolutely can. We've seen many times in history where something is like, we look at the World's Fair.
Yes.
Shit pops up to the World's Fair. Electric fucking escalators, light bulbs.
But the private sector is getting the AI electric vehicle. It isn't like a government program that has come across this technology and is doing it, and now they're like, oh, we have to squash this before and not let it in the public domain.
But I think
the public domain's already the one creating this, and
yeah, I agree with you, but I think it speaks volumes about the sales. Like, let's just be really honest. If you take California out of the mix, just California, take them out of the mix, the electric cars are not significant at all.
I'm not saying they are.
I know, but my point is they've been on the market now for a while. Like before Tesla, there was Leaf, right?
Publicly. For public use.
For public use, yes. But my point is like in general, like people aren't that into it. They're just not.
Well,
there's a lot of hybrids.
Yes.
Not only that, but like Trump is planning for a major AI infrastructure plans, Project Stargate. Okay,
Yeah.
like that is a massive warehouse facility to build the infrastructure to support AI.
They're already building
like
one
on a massive
They're
scale.
already
So,
building
like,
one here in Texas.
right?
It has
and so
to
it's
happen.
like,
It has to happen.
what are we gonna do with that? Are we just gonna let it sit there and not use it? Like,
Yes.
they're gonna use it. They're gonna tap into it.
Well, listen, man. It's like, okay, use that like the nuclear bomb. All right. Do we use nuclear bombs every year? No. Okay.
I
How
don't
many?
know.
No. Well,
Maybe.
I mean, hypothetically, we have them for a reason, right? Like we have a cache of fucking nuclear bombs, but that doesn't mean that we use them. Why? Because like the idea is we have to build these things in the case that such and such uses them as well, right? That's the theory behind it, even though we could be the instigator sometime on that as well. Point being, you're dumb to not build the infrastructure for AI. It's already here. We already see that it's a thing that's growing. And if you're not ahead of the game, you're going to be behind the game. And we certainly do not want to be behind China or Japan or anybody else for that matter when it comes to AI. We want to be just the same I say with the crypto coin. Like, why would you not partake? If it does blow and becomes a thing, you're in it. You know what I'm saying? You're already got your feet wet in it, right? It doesn't mean that it has to be used either.
Right. It's just going along with the game plan, like the global game plan, doesn't seem very America first to me. You know, it's like, okay, well, I get it. Like, you want to be first in AI because this other country is going to be AI first or whatever. Like, my thing is, hey, let's disassociate from that completely. Let's get on our own thing that works. We'll bring back manufacturing here.
Yeah.
We'll kind of become a powerhouse ourselves, and people will want to come here.
But why
to
can't
get
you?
what
Why
we-
can't you do both?
You can do both. You have to do both. Like, listen, I get you.
I guess it's a moral thing. Like, if you
get you.
don't agree with it,
I know, but I don't agree with having nuclear bombs, right? Like, I don't think that we should have I don't think we should have weapons that can destroy nations. Like, that's crazy to me, and I think that's crazy to you as well. Doesn't mean that we can't have them. Like, the idea is if we wiped out our nuclear bombs, right? Like, if America's like, America first, we're taking away all our bombs. That does not make us safer, man. And like, as much as we hate to admit that, or we don't like that reality, we're not safer because the other people have it. And so that's all I'm trying to say is that, like, I don't feel like that's following an agenda. Now, if you're coming out saying like, hey, we want to grow this with the world and be a part of this one world, or is it, nobody said that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. No one said that. They're saying like, this is happening. It's happening. Whether you like it or don't like it, it's happening. And so we have the technology to like be on the forefront of it if it blows. And we have to be able to do that. Otherwise we fall. I mean, I hate to say it, but we know how powerful AI can be.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, when you notice like a globalist trend and you want to be America first, you don't really just hop on the train and say, well, we're going to be the leader of this globalist train. You know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
That just is weird to me.
I understand that, and I get it. I totally get it, but I don't really know the way around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
EMP.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
You're gonna have to blow the fucking shit up,
but like in 50 years, we could be having that same conversation with AI as we are with nuclear bombs right now, right? Like, you know, I could see it in 40, 50 years. And, and the governments are saying, we need to like lower your AI use. We need to lower our, you know, global AI use because it's becoming and like, we all see that trend, right? Because this is a super weapon. I mean, it's amazing in daily technology. We can all admit that like, if we all were able to use AI on a daily basis, our lives would probably be easier in some aspects, no doubt.
But I think you just touched on it, dude. I think it's a weapon. And I think that's why Trump is wanting to invest in it, just like he's spending $1 trillion in the DOD, you know, with his expansion plan or his expense plan, whatever, right? That Elon Musk even came out and criticized him over. But it's like,
I don't know that it's
but
the weapon.
I think it's the same thing though, comparing it to nuclear weapons. If it's going to be a thing, why wouldn't you want to be at, like Dave said, at the forefront of its creation? That way you can kind of control its utilization. That way it's not immediately going to be a weapon. It can be a weapon, but if you are the first to accomplish that goal and kind of control the market on it, then you can kind of mitigate that a little bit.
Well, you could at least lay the law down. I mean, it's think of like warships, think of fighter jets, right? Like, all those things in their early creation were like, damn, do we really need a fucking ship that holds 50 fucking aircraft? Like, that's crazy. It's a fucking fortress. Well, listen, if we don't have that, then and somebody else has it, we're behind. We lose, right? Every time China puts out a new plane, we always have something that comes out that's better, if not equal or better.
You don't have to be behind. It just depends on how good and in demand AI will be. And, you know, assuming that it's going to be the next bee's knees and super in demand, then, we would be behind because everybody would be flocking to those countries.
I think it will be important. See, I guess that's where I'm going. I don't know that AI in general is going to be on the entertainment side of things or even just what we see on a daily basis, like the go-to thing. I think it's going to be a government thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be for weapons where people don't have to, you know, dog fights. They are completely controlled by AI. You know what I'm saying? Like the
AI drones.
Well, the human element's gone. The mistakes are gone. And that makes sense if you're talking about in a war atmosphere, right? Like the idea that we don't have to kill a troop, but we can put out this AI thing, and if it goes down, it goes down, but it's not a person. You know what I'm saying? I get that.
It's going to be both.
Yeah,
But it's also going to be not only just entertainment and government aspects. It's going to be manufacturing aspects. It's going to be any way it could be used, it's going to be used.
Surveillance.
Yeah. Well, sure. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know, man.
Just like, you ever see that fucking movie Eagle Eye?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah,
it's
dude.
been a long time.
Yeah, that's what AI is, as far as surveillance goes.
It's freaky how I hope it never gets to the point where we can't tell the difference, because it's like someone could just make a video of you doing something with another woman and then show it to your wife. You know what I mean? You're like, how do you disprove that? I'd be like, dude, that's a fake video.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah, but see, the thing is like, to your point exactly, is that if we get to a point where that is created, and I don't think it will be that close, but if it's created to the point where it's undistinguishable, right? Like you absolutely cannot tell at all, then like the doubt in itself would ease the issues that you're talking about. Okay. Because your wife and you, right, you're in the room and like, oh, some fan of ours made a video of me having sex with another woman. And then your wife would be like, I've seen, you know, it's hard to tell. Like, obviously, if you have to go back to trust. You have to go back to human nature again and go, I trust that you did. But then also,
everything created by AI is going to have its own signature. It's going to have a digital signature. So you're going to be able to trace where it came from.
But I hope so.
I know, but here's the thing: we can't say that, because if we're going to sit here and say that these things can get so smart that they're indistinguishable from humans, and that they have their own intelligence, then there's no reason to think they couldn't wipe that stuff away if they wanted to, right? Like, we can't just stop at like, well, they all have to have a signature. If they're so advanced,
but AI isn't going to just on its own accord go, I'm going to make a sex video of Greg cheating on his wife.
Yes.
No, someone's going to have AI make that.
I understand.
And then they're going to be able to like, oh, well, this came from this program. It was prompted by this fucking IP address. It was prompted by this person.
Am I at least doing it, doggy?
Man,
probably.
Give me a solid.
Can't just be
Come on, AI prompt.
I'm simply saying that if we have programs that are that good, then those same people that have access to those programs are going to have access to programs to wipe those off as well. If you have AI that can literally endlessly do anything you ask it to.
Well, you know,
I'm just saying
we're getting so like.
I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Or is everyone just gonna be fucking super spies now, and everyone's gonna have all fucking shit that they can just do undetected AI take over countries?
See,
the fucking prince of fucking Egypt is now fucking the girl next door.
Yes.
No.
We can't have it both ways, man. We can't listen. The whole conversation is that it's going to grow to a point where we don't have control. That's what you guys were saying. That it's going to be indistinguishable. That we have movies that are indistinguishable, right?
Well, so
that doesn't mean we don't have control.
We can click a button right now. We've done this many times. We had Flex on the show doing it. You can click a button right now with no experience, nothing, and create things already, right? Just off the AI that we have now.
Yeah.
And all I'm trying to say is that there's no reason to think that when this becomes supercharged, which it will, that those things aren't going to be right there accessible with the click of a button. You don't have to be a super genius. You just have to go take off IP address. and
what I think is going to happen more than likely is you're going to have a video of a bombing or something, or some country bombing another country, and they're going to use this video as proof and evidence to get into a war or to do something to that other country, right?
Possibly.
I could totally see that. Like, we've already seen them lying about, remember when the Turks were being left behind? Trump wanted to pull out of Syria or something. And then the ABC News was throwing up the Kentucky fireworks show. They're like, oh, look at the bombings over in Syria. And it was just like, no, that's a footage of the Kentucky fireworks show. Like, we got the original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But somebody pointed that out.
So they're already like putting fake videos in right now.
But somebody pointed that out. I want to be clear. Somebody pointed that out, right? And that's going to be somebody wrote in or talked to them or called them, or multiple people called and said that footage is not real. That's footage from this Kentucky thing that we were at. That's not the same.
Because there was an existence of the video elsewhere, right?
I know, but
I'm saying if this is a brand new video that no one else has seen, you could portray that as a real event.
And then eventually it will not work because you're going to go to the area. That's what I'm trying to say. There's too many people on this fucking earth. You would literally have to actually bomb. Okay, you can make video of the aftermath and kind of fluff that up a lot with AI, but like you're not going to be able to bomb a city on AI and say they bombed a city and then that city not be bombed, because someone
is going to go look.
Someone is going to go and they're going to say this is the footage. This never happened. And so it's all short term. And I think, to my point that was
talking, then you focus on those people, you ban those videos from social media, you call those people conspiracy theorists, just like they did with COVID.
Well, and we're assuming that none of these fucking generators or none of these AI fucking programs are ever going to have any kind of rules or guidelines.
Well, just like you said,
are broken. You know,
they're ruled by the people who guideline them. You know,
the program itself can't break the rules that are fucking put into it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm assuming now it can't, but maybe at some point
That's
it
what
might.
he's saying, though, right? That he's saying that eventually we could get to a point where they're so intelligent that they don't follow rules. And all those things are all hypothetical. Even what I'm talking to you about a minute ago, those are all just hypothetical statements, right? Like the idea that like they could use this as like, sure, man. But the thing is like, again, there's human. And like you can say, well, just like they did with COVID, but COVID didn't get as bad as it could have because of humans, right? Like, yes, the propaganda machine worked and it worked on a lot of people, but there were still humans putting out footage, talking and going to places and taking video and releasing information. You will never get rid of that. You will never get rid of it because somebody will do it. You can ban you, but you're not going to be able to ban the 10,000 people that are also sharing at the same time. So what I'm trying to say is like, it's never going to be, I think when your mind runs with it, you can just endlessly think of like the earth is going to blow up because of AI. It may not be that, man. That's all I'm trying to say is like, we need to slow down a little bit and understand that like, there's a lot of good people in the earth that are not going to allow certain things to happen like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if
my internet connection is on.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
I just think that like
It
people
just,
will
right
come
across
out.
my face.
They'll come out and truth will always come out. Truth will always. It may take days. It may take.
Dude,
weeks.
I get you, and I like
Yeah.
that. I think that is a very good thing to focus on,
Yeah.
and I do agree. I think that like people have this instinct in them to always be like, dude, that's not right. I have to say something about that.
Sure.
And I feel like that is the good thing about Trump is that he's brought that forward, and a lot of people, and with COVID, let's say about that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I just think that where this is all going is it just seems very weird and not very human. I will put it that way.
I agree. I agree. But I'll say this too. We've had a lot of things throughout the course of history that at the moment that they happened, I mean, maybe we weren't alive for some of these situations, but I can only imagine if we had the same kind of access to internet and communication and podcasts that if we had that in the late 80s, these conversations would be the exact same thing about the internet, right? There's this ultimate program that's coming out that has every information that you could ever want at the fingertips, and people would be talking the same way that you are and I am. That's like, well, guys, man, this is probably just going to be, or this is the end of the earth, man. Like they're trying to be God. And we would have had that same conversation. We just didn't have the technology to kind of have those conversations, really. Like people were talking about it, that they were afraid of it. And I'll be honest, we've seen it. We see that the internet is not a great thing all the time. It's amazing on some aspects. We are able to do what we do because of the internet.
Why hasn't the internet developed its own consciousness and like took
That's
over
what
the
I'm
earth?
saying. I think it's easy to run.
Maybe it has.
Maybe it has.
See, it's always like the maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's easy to let your brain run because of all the things that this earth has shown us and all the corruption and the fraud and the greed. And I think it's very easy to do it. But at the end of the day, listen, if it's a good product and it works, people will buy into it. If it's not, or if it's scary, they will not buy into it. And that is what I think is going to happen. I think people are going to embrace it and then they're going to judge it. And if it's too scary for them or if it's too much for them, they will run from it. and we'll see.
I think in our lifetime, AI is going to be more for the good than it is for bad. And I think in 10 to 30 years, there's going to be some really crazy and insane shit going on in the world that is just going to be like, man, this is insanely cool.
Well, there are examples of, government officials, high up people using AI photos. It's like they're caught like what's her name? Kate, the princess
Kate
married to
Middleton?
Prince William.
Middleton?
Yeah, Kate Middleton. Remember she put out that AI photo and everybody was like, dude, this just doesn't, and to your point, Dave, like the spidey senses went off on everybody. Like, what is up with this like this picture doesn't look real. Like they're analyzing every little fucking detail in the background.
Yeah.
And then they had to come out, like the royal family had to come out saying, yeah, we published an AI video. Sorry, it was a fake photo. She just wasn't feeling well. And then she has cancer. Yeah. And that's how they like covered it up. Like, yeah, she has cancer. So
Joe Biden on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't trigger a whole bunch of people. I mean, even like if half the earth didn't see it, we all were talking about this with Joe Biden when he was president. Like the weird things we talked about with the Pope. We've talked about It's not that it's going to be void. Even as good as it is, it's not going to be void of us recognizing it. You know what I'm saying? Agent KK, I want to say, he made a comment on here. It says, what comes after? My question is, what technology comes after AI?
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Because you would think that would be the end all, right? Like AI is the most ultimate technology, but it would have to be
BI.
Oh, there you go.
Biological
BJ.
intelligence.
Well, I would
It's
think that we
BJ,
already have
dude.
some of that. I would
Well,
hope.
it's a superiority. It's AI and biological combined.
I think
ABI.
if you look at AI, at what could come from AI or what comes after AI, it has to be dimensional or galactic something. It has to be something off of Earth, because I feel like
Aliens.
What if AI ends up solving the fucking problems that humans couldn't figure out
It very well
to
could.
fucking
Like what?
generate products to get the flying cars to turn us into that fucking intergalactic fucking civilization.
Wow,
Well,
I'm
how
with
could it
you.
learn if we're feeding it? That's what I'm saying. Like, like I guess it can just garble it up and
Because it
like,
can recognize things
Patterns.
that we can't. That's
All-
why.
yeah.
That's why
maybe
they're.
the pyramids.
That's why they're saying
Yeah.
the
Maybe.
new fucking quantum AI shit is solving fucking math algorithms and shit that would take a normal computer or any person couldn't do it, but any normal computer would take hundreds of thousands of fucking years,
Yeah.
and they're doing it in minutes or seconds.
That's the thing, though, is I honestly think that all of it, whether that's the pyramids, UFOs, technology, we already have the answer. We just don't know what the fucking answer is. You know
We
what I'm
just
saying?
don't know how to read
We have
into it.
everything we need to know what the answer is, but we don't know how to process that information. And that's where AI could do something like that, right?
I think
like
that's where it will.
if you're Bob Lazar, what would you have done with AI back then? If that's all real, right? Hypothetically. That piece of equipment that powers these ships that they couldn't figure out how to do it, it could have been answered in 10 seconds. And they spent 10, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the idea of, like, does it open the door up for something that we're right there on the cusp of being able to do? Time travel, like dimension hopping. Like, what can we do if we have all the answers?
But where
that we
is
need?
AI going to find that information from?
Well, it's not
It
going to
already
find.
has.
It's not going to find the information. It's going to recognize the pattern in which and how to read the information that we aren't understanding.
Yeah, but if somebody wants to hide that information, they just don't expose that information, right? And then the AI doesn't know.
Yeah, if you don't put it through if you're on a secret program trying to figure out how to get a shuttle that had crashed, to operate again, right? Like, you would have to put in the information that you have and see if it can
Or
come up
just
with a different
a
path.
simple real life example. I asked Grok, how were the pyramids built? And then it goes to the bullshit, workers cut the stone and using copper tools, just like the same.
But you're
bullshit
asking,
excuse.
I know, but you're asking a very simplistic question. You're asking, how are the pyramids created, right? I'm saying that if you had a program that says, let's say, because we all know that math is how this stuff. I mean, that's what Einstein supposedly did, right? He was using math to figure out the equations of how X,
Well,
Y,
and
Z,
like
blah, blah, blah.
SpaceX is fucking all their paperwork and all their fucking technology that they use and their numbers and their algorithms and their ways of how they're doing it isn't just published on the internet. So an AI just like Grok isn't going to know any of that information.
Possibly.
So you're saying like have an intra-sourced AI where it's
Yes.
not public.
Well, I'm
and
saying
it's-
if you're dumping all the information that you have that's not privy to the public, like if you're already doing a program and you have all this research that you have, it's no different than looking like you see lawyers and other people saying like, I have to go revisit these documents because I'm missing something. You have detectives. They're like, I'm going to go through all the paperwork again because there's got to be something in it that I'm missing. That's a lot of the times why we don't solve things, because we're skipping over something that's
We're not piecing everything together.
it's very important and we're just not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And if they can say, actually, the reason that this power supply is not working is because X, Y, and Z. And you're like, fuck, holy shit, I never even thought about that. And then, boosh, it powers up. Like, that's changing. You know what I'm saying? That would be like fucking all of a sudden, all the UFOs work that we have this crash. You know what I'm saying? They're
They
probably
all
already
turn on
working.
at the same time.
Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need AI because those were supposedly ran, right? If you believe in the UFO theory, they're supposedly ran with no instruments, right? There's no equipment. Like, maybe we just aren't intelligent enough to be able to run those without the equipment. And AI is intelligent enough to run these spaceships without a fucking joystick. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of
maybe it's going to
theory.
teach us how to do it.
Or just we just plug in. We sit down in the seat and we say, kick on fucking
You could plug
rock,
one of
bro.
those
Rock.
one of those fucking alien ships into AI and say, hey, I need you to figure out how to operate this machine.
Yeah.
And it
Maybe
goes, all
that's
right,
where AI
actually,
came from.
This is
It might
where
be.
it fucking blah, 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 blah. This is how
Could
it
be.
works. And then you say, I need a step-by-step printout on how a human being can operate this machine.
Yeah. No, AI goes, I already know that because this is where I came from. This is my mothership.
AI is
I landed
the
here
joystick.
8,000 years ago.
You plug it in and it just goes, oh my God, I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm alive.
No, I'm telling you,
Oh,
that's what it is. AI,
It was a long sleep.
AI is the joystick.
AI isn't artificial
No,
intelligence.
it's the joystick.
alien intelligence.
You go in there and you prompt it.
There you go.
Ship, go left, go right, go fast, go here, go there, and it just.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Listen, I love it, only because like there's nothing we can do to stop it. There's really nothing we can do to stop it. So at
true.
the end of the day, we need to figure out how to be able to embrace it safely going forward. And I think it'll pan itself out one way or the other, man. People are maybe not going to accept it the way you guys think so. That's how I feel about it.
I think they will.
Oh, yeah.
10 years, we'll know. It's going to be less than 10 of
It's
it.
just going to become like having a phone in your hand.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'll bet you Snickers, but it's going to be... I don't even know if Snickers will exist by the time we get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
All right,
It's
man.
like imagine Snickers flavor
yeah,
and
yeah.
you'll have it in your mouth.
Happy Wednesday, guys. Good conversation.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Good conversation. Friday, we got a call-in show. Or no,
Zoom party.
The Zoom party. That's right. Zoom party. All right, Friday it is.
All right.
All right.
Later, guys.
Peace.